So I use these videos as therapy, and I've just made a video about EastEnders, and it was only during that did I realize that actually a huge number of things that I said did actually relate to me, only I wasn't recognizing the fact that they related to me. So anyway, the stories that I thought didn't make any sense are the story about Stuart having a child and not being able to care for it. And it's just like, wait, didn't I just make a video this morning about how kind of Martin represents my child and I just can't care for it any longer? And it's like, okay, so yeah, all right, I do relate to that episode. I don't think many people relate to that episode. You know, who would have a child and not care about that child? And it's just like, yeah, well, I'm probably talking about myself, aren't I? Well, not myself as a human. I'm talking about myself as a god. Like the people who lived in the past, they are my children, but I just don't care about them any longer. So I feel this. My god feels the same way as Stuart does. And then you've got another story, which is the blonde lady who I've forgotten her name. But yeah, she is an alcoholic, and I'm not an alcoholic, but I do love to drink. And she was going to leave just like I wanted to leave and like not be part of. I'm trying to get out of whatever I'm involved in, and I'm really pissed off. But and I do want to drink because I feel like that would be the best way to get rid of my problems. But I'm not really an alcoholic. But yeah. Anyway, um, someone is but Janine is paying her to go. So basically, I want to leave whatever I'm doing and stop. I want to end this sacrifice, but I'm kind of being forced to. I feel like I'm forced to because no one's talking to me, no one's helping me, and so Janine, I guess, is another sort of god character which doesn't really exist in real life because no one's that bad. But I think higher self can be. She can be whatever she wants, and she, in a way, feels like she's forcing me to not want to be with my family. So in the same way that Linda figure, Linda, that's her name, Linda, who's actually my mom's name. But anyway, so the Linda figure is being kind of forced out by Janine, was being forced out by Janine, with bribery of money and saying that you're useless and you can't do anything, and she thinking, okay, maybe I should just take the money and run. But then she decides to keep the money and says, you know what, I'm going to keep your money and I'm just going to stay. And so in the same way, you know, I'm going to accept what's happened to me, and I'm not going to die yet. Anyway, and then but what happened is she tried to tell her child that, you know, it doesn't make any sense why she didn't tell her child. You know, you tell your child that I was being blackmailed, and well, I wasn't being blackmailed, but yeah, I was. Someone was going to give me a huge amount of money to go, and that was the only reason why I was going. Likewise, I want to tell the world that the only reason why I hate everyone is because of what I've gone through, what someone's put me through. And but yeah, she didn't actually get around to saying that to her child, and the child walked off, which didn't make any sense because surely she would have said that. But anyway, then Janine, she was trying to get hold of someone to help her, because she was drinking and depressed. And then Janine came, because she was the only one who picked up the phone, and she ended up driving the car and having a big accident. And then she swapped her over to make her look like she was drunk in the driver's seat when really she wasn't. Likewise, I feel like if I was to go on to Big Brother, okay, a lot of people will believe me. I'm pretty sure a lot of people believe me. But I think there'll also be a lot of people who don't believe me, a lot of people who think that I'm like just a drunken driver who has no control, or is all my fault, or if I am a god, then I'm the one who's causing all the wars, and therefore, you know, there's going to be a lot of people that are hating me, and I will say my piece, but afterwards I think I need to hide somewhere for a while until things have settled down. But yeah, and then Janine is the one who takes over, and starts making things worse for her by just being like, yeah, she's a bad mom, and someone else knows about Janine, what Janine's really like, and she's trying to um, sort of I don't know, but she's threatening to expose Janine for who she is, and I think likewise, God has caused some problems. She's also doing good and bad, but yeah, I think, you know, if something bad is around the corner, you know, something that's kind of revelation kind of bad, you know, it's not me that's doing it. It's the higher self, and the higher self is doing it for a good reason, and you know, bad things happen for good reasons, and I have to trust. We all have to trust in that God, and trust that whatever's going to happen is for the best of the planet and the people in it. Maybe not so much an individual, but for the majority. She will do what's best for the majority. And but yeah, it's weird though to see this evil Janine character as being probably someone who's, because that's in like mortal version. Janine is just a terrible person who needs to go. But yeah, that's just how sort of the good and bad is. But anyway, it's really strange how I didn't think those stories connected at all. And then you've got the other one, which is the Phil's son, who was going around. It's so annoying. People keep calling me, and I think it's the same person. But yeah, so Phil's son was going around beating lots of people up, and then he gets raped, and he's really upset now. And it's just like that kind of just represents karma. You know, if you do bad things to other people, you'll karma. Although I don't think that being raped is karma. If you're going around beating people up and putting people in comas, it's only a matter of time before you get beaten up and put in comas. But that's usually what happens in EastEnders. You know, with people that do bad things. Okay, sometimes it takes a year, like the guy who murdered his wife. You know, that took like ages and ages for him to get put in prison. But eventually, karma does come back round, and I like seeing that, the karma coming back round and stuff. But yeah, it's quite entertaining. I think EastEnders, even if sometimes the stories don't make sense, I feel like in other ways they do make sense.